Hey, what's up, guys? This is Justin. Gonna thank you guys for making me a part of your day. So what's gonna happen is that somebody actually made a comment on one of my videos to make a class setup video, and it was actually a pretty good suggestion. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through that right now. I try to be quick. Usually when I say I want to be quick with these, I don't go so quick, so I'm going to try to keep it under a certain time frame. I do have kind of some good insight, so if you want to sit down and kind of pay attention to what I'm doing, I think these will help you out a lot too. So here's my classes so far. Note that even though, here's the thing, I don't really play Black Ops too much anymore. I used to have a really good dedicated class setup vid, but I kind of just use one's class, because as you can see, I got the 10 sets that you can buy right here. So if you didn't know, you can buy extra sets. So you actually have 100 creative class sets. But here's the thing. When you guys go into a game, you can only use 10. So if you're on class set 5, you always be on class... Oh, excuse me. You'll always be on class set 5. So when we're doing all of these, I used to keep different class setups. Like, so I'd have like shotguns for number 2 and assault rifles for number 3 and so on, or search and destroy, hard point, stuff like that, when I was kind of really into being serious about the game. But I usually only use one class setup right now. So here's my class set 1, and I'll go through each one in order. So what I try to do is that I always put the most try hard ones up top, because usually when you're going to switch to that class, it means that you're going to you got to go really fast, so you'll always know where it's at. If it's somewhere in the middle, you're going to have to look for it. But when I'm kind of frustrated and I got to go try hard, then I know that I'm going to be playing that way, so I go all the way up to the top right there, okay? One thing you should note is that I don't have any stingers or any whatever that missile launcher thing is to shoot down air support. So that's one thing you guys should take into consideration. You should put that on one of your classes. Maybe make a shoot down class. I used to have one, but since I play solo, if we're getting beat that bad, I'll just quit. And then if there's air support in the air, I can avoid it. Otherwise, I don't have any blind eye classes either, which is pretty important if a swarm comes. So I'll show you my tryhard class first. As you can see, it has the MSMC, which is the best gun in the game. So I have the MSMC. And then my two first perks, my blue perks, are going to be Ghost and Flat Jacket right there. And so you have two things. One, if you're trying hard, you're going to be on radar. They're going to be using UAVs. And so you don't want to show up on the UAV, so that's why you use Ghost. And obviously you're going to do explosives, so that's one thing too. One thing to take into consideration, if you're playing like Hardpoint, they already know where you're at. So Ghost isn't really that big of a deal in Hardpoint. But this is kind of my overall try-hardiest class setup right here, okay? Second perk, I have Toughness and Hardwired. The Hardwired is because typically if you're running... Here's the thing about Ghost. I don't need to run Ghost unless they have counter UAVs, because typically, very rarely does somebody run counter UAV without the UAV. So if you think about it like that, if somebody's running counter UAV, obviously they're 99% of the time they're going to run UAV. So if I have Hardwired, I got to have Ghost and so on. So, but they're going to be EMP spamming as well. Toughness is just the third, another double up perk on there. And then for the third one right there, it's going to be Tac Mask, because you got to remember that you got UAVs, you got counter UAVs. They're probably throwing explosives and getting shots on you, so you need Toughness. And for the Tac Mask, that's for anything else. So this is a very defensive class right here. It has all defensive perks on there. There's pretty much no offensive perks on there except maybe Toughness. And that's going to be my tryhardiest class. The C4 and then the EMP grenade, obviously to destroy everything. EMPs are very annoying if you don't have Hardwired. If you guys watch any of my tryhard videos, you know that they don't like getting spammed with those. And then the C4. So if you really wanted to, you could probably switch out Toughness for Scavenger and then just spam both of these repeatedly, okay? So that's my class for the tryhardest setup. I usually don't use this class unless it's going down, like it's about to go down. So this is the one that I keep in reserve. If you keep one really good tryhard class, you have flexibility in your other classes to kind of do other things. So that's why I keep one tryhard class right here, okay? Actually, let me see. I thought I had one. I might have mixed these up just a tiny bit, but here's my kind of fast class. And this is kind of like when I want to get quick gameplays. It's kind of an offensive class because the MSMC with long barrel is pretty good. It's still, like, they nerfed all of the SMGs, but the MSMC is still pretty good with the long barrel. I use Hardline because I want to get the streaks fast, and I use Scavenger to throw C4s and Dexterity. So this is kind of like my class when I want to go fast. I think I'll show you another class where I did everything offensive, but this is a very solid class as well. Also has the MSMC on there, so I have hardline, and then I have scavenger and toughness. I usually don't use toughness. I haven't used toughness in a while, and dexterity. So the thing about dexterity right here is that a lot of you guys, if you ever get shot, like especially 870s use dexterity a lot, 870 users. So if you see a guy with an 870 and in the kill cam or right before he kills you, it's like the guy wasn't even looking at you. That's what dexterity is. And you guys probably know what I'm talking about. Well, it's lag too. But for the most part, it's like you're on the side of an 870 guy and then you automatically die. But in the kill cam, he's looking at you. That's because 870s will shoot faster with dexterity. It reduces your time. Like if you run, right? Like if you're sprinting and then you automatically just hold the R trigger, there is a delay. Okay, no matter what. It's a minute delay. But with dexterity, it cuts that. I don't know what the exact number is, but it cuts it in half. So your gun bullets actually come out of your gun faster. They don't shoot out faster. They start shooting faster than if you don't have dexterity. And obviously, it's most noticeable on a shotgun because a shotgun's going to kill you in one shot. So that's why I use dexterity. I use dexterity on a lot of guns, and I know when I don't have dexterity. Okay, a lot of people, I would say like 80 to 90% of the people wouldn't know if you had dexterity on, but I can tell when I don't have dexterity on as well. Okay. Also, I like to be able to jump or mantle objects quicker too, so that's kind of my thing right there. And then on my videos, I use a lot of C4 because I'm a noob, but C4 is pretty it's pretty annoying with scavenger and EMP grenades. Okay, EMP grenades, you can use them as kind of like a motion sensor. It'll give you an idea of where they're at because it'll go through walls. So if anything, you can destroy equipment too. But most of the times when I play, they don't get too much equipment against me, but I use EMP grenade as kind of like a sensor grenade right there. Okay. For my silencer class, this is probably a good class for you guys to use. I use the MP7 with the silencer and extended mags. One of the things about the MP7 is that it shoots pretty fast already. It's the same thing as the Vector, except the Vector's the range is a little bit shorter, but the recoil on the Vector is a little bit less. But for the MP7, shoots very fast. Here's the thing: the MP7 is actually a pretty versatile gun because it doesn't have the range as the MSMC, and it actually doesn't have the time to kill factor down. But because it shoots fast enough, it makes up the time differential between those two guns. And with the silencer, it's one of the few guns that I like to use with the silencer because when you put a silencer on an SMG, it totally nerfs the damage I don't know if it's the damage, it takes it down a lot. It's more than it's ever been in previous Call of Duties. In previous Call of Duties, it was just one less bullet, but in this game, it takes it down to a tremendous range. The extended mags takes your default magazine, which is 40 bullets, to 54 bullets, which is ridiculous because that's almost like an LMG. I think one of the LMGs has 75 bullets, so you're 20 bullets away from an LMG with the mobility of an SMG. So that's one of the things about the MP7. I always like the MP7 over the Vector because the Vector is weaker, it seems, at range. And the reload time on the MP7, you don't need fast mags. You don't even need extended mags. So it's got a very versatile class that you can kind of switch up different attachments with. I've used long barrel. It doesn't seem to work out as well as or for my playstyle, it doesn't work out. But with the long barrel, because it fires so fast, it kind of makes up the difference with the fire rate right there. Okay, so this is my silencer class. I like to use hardline. Hardline is if you want to get streaks quick, hardline is a pretty useful tool, especially with the EMP grenade and the scavenger, because for an EMP assist, especially in kill confirmed, I think it's on all game types, but on kill confirmed it's plus 50 for an assist, so you can get an EMP spam, get a plus 50, and I think the kill is plus 50, so an assist and kill confirmed is actually the same as a kill, so that's why I like to use scavenger EMP in conjunction with hardline right here. I use Ghost. You can pretty much put your third perk. You could put toughness right here or tac mask on the bottom. But I put dexterity right there, and you guys know that I spam all of these right here. So that's a good silence class. That's just a good, that's a reasonable, good offense, good defense. This is kind of like my go-to, kind of my default class right here. Okay. My shoddy class right here. Actually, it's a little bit changed. I usually don't use the KSG. Actually, I'm going to change this. Let's see. I typically would use that right there. I tried using the sight. It aims. Here's the thing. Here's kind of the weird thing about the KSG for me. I aim. A lot of you guys are like, why don't you just use quick draw to aim faster? With the iron sights, the quick draw is too fast for me, and that's kind of weird sounding. But I like the speed of the aim down sight without quick draw with the iron sight. It's kind of like when you snipe. If you aim, well, it's kind of different. It's totally different. I'm going weird point right here. I actually like it to aim slower because I feel like I can aim better with how slow it is. But when I put a reflex sight on it, it was too slow, so I might have to use quick draw on that. But typically I use the long barrel and the laser sight. Long barrel doesn't seem to really do anything, but I still put it on there anyway because I do get some long shots. I do get a lot of headshots with it too. And then with the laser sights, it's weird because I already have decent hip fire accuracy, but I don't know. I just like the laser sight. It gives me a good idea of where to kind of aim, pre-aim, before the guys come around the corner. So that's the thing about aiming. When you're aiming with any gun, you want to aim at a certain height level because you don't. Okay, so here's how it works. Real quick tip, all right? When you're aiming at somebody, you can go up, down, left, right. So there's 4 axes. There's 2 axes of motion, 4 directions, okay? So you can go up and down, left and right. But what you want to do to be a good player, because you want to be as quick as possible, is that you want to keep the height around chest high because you want to take one of those axes out of play. So you just want to aim left and right, okay? So what I mean is that if you aim at chest height going around every corner, all you have to do is aim left or aim right. You don't have to go like right and then up a little bit, or right and then down a little bit, or left and whatever. Okay, so that's why the laser sight does help on that right there. It also makes your crosshairs a little bit smaller, so that's a good tip on that. Try to take one of those out of consideration. If you watch good players, they only have to aim left or right because they don't have to go, unless they're a sniper. Really good snipers they basically only aim to the left. If you watch all the good snipers, they only go to the left because the ballista aims to the right. Actually, all the snipers aim to the right. Guys probably didn't know that either, but they aim a little tiny bit to the right, so that's why everybody always drags to the left. And if you guys watch all your phase, no scopes, and quick scopes and all that, you would see that. So shotgun, when I'm using that, I like to use lightweight and scavenger for the C4 and EMP grenades. Extreme conditioning and dexterity are going to be for both of those. This class right here for my shotgun is not a good class to use in domination or hardpoint because there's more explosives in both of those game types. But in kill confirm, this is kind of one of the better classes right here. Here's 2 things. You're either going to run through them really quick and then get a lot of kills, or you're going to die a lot because there's no defense on this at all. There's no toughness, there's no flak jacket, there's no tac mask. So you got to know that going in, if you're going to be using this class, you might not. You might die a lot in the beginning, so you got to make that decision pretty quick. So I make it pretty quick. A lot of you guys see me in my videos. If I'm not doing too well, I'll switch pretty quick. But that's my shotgun class right there. Okay. My assault rifle class. This is the first assault rifle on all of these. AN-94 is kind of my go-to gun. Stock and silencer are 2 really good things to have. I'm kind of like an SMG player with the AR. But in some games, I got to use this right here. So on most ARs, here's kind of my thing. I do use flak jacket. Hardline was just thrown in at the end. You can switch that up with Ghost. But with ARs, you're not gonna be running around as much as you are with SMGs. And here's kind of my thing about using flak jacket right here. If you're in an area like top 10 on studio, or any area where you're going to be using an AR assault rifle, they're probably gonna throw nades at you right when they respawn for revenge spawn, okay? So that's why I use flak jacket for all my assault rifles. Most of my assault rifles I use flak jacket. And secondly, obviously on the assault rifle, you're going to be shooting them from further away where the view kick will play a role. See, in SMGs, it really doesn't matter with toughness, I don't think. You can notice it a little bit, but on ARs especially, you're going to need toughness because if you get view kick or anything like that, it does make a difference right there. Dexterity, you can actually interchange this with tac mask because dexterity probably doesn't help you as much in an AR. The time when you sprint and you stop and you shoot is longer on an AR than an SMG, so dexterity does have some benefit right there. But for a lot of you players that maybe aren't as aggressive as I am, tac mask would be a better choice right here. And then C4 and EMP is what I use right there. Okay. This is just a class that I've been experimenting with. And so I have those 5 right there. Then I have 4 miscellaneous classes in my sniper class. So for these ones right here, there's going to be miscellaneous, and I'll kind of talk about these really quickly. This is I'm messing around with this class. It's pretty good. It's kind of a waste of a lot of perks, but there's my miscellaneous class. M8, stock, select fire, extended mags, flak jacket, scavenger, and then tac mask right there. This is kind of my semi-try-hard class. You guys have probably seen this class a lot. So it's weird because I have hardwired ghost and flak jacket and tac mask. So I kind of took my advice on the other one and I took everything else out. Obviously, if I'm using hardwired, it's because they have counter UAVs up and EMP spam, which means they're going to need ghost. So I use this class a lot. This is actually It's not super try hard because there is some offensive mixed in there, and I actually do like this class a lot. So if you want to pause this one and try this one out, I do recommend this class very, very much. Okay. Okay, here's the fast class that I was talking about. This class right here is basically my shotgun class with a long barrel allowed MSMC with fast mags. So you got lightweight, extreme conditioning, and dexterity. Those 3 perks right there are just used to go. Okay, they're used to climb up, they're used to jump down. Also, if you jump down stuff with lightweight, you know that part where you break your ankles? That doesn't happen with that. So right here, these 3 perks, this is the fastest class that I have. This is probably the most exciting gameplay that I have out of all the classes, using this class right here because it's fast. There's nothing, you can't stand still at all because if you're not moving, you're gonna die. And so I use it's all offense, scavenger, C4, and EMP grenades. It's all offense all the time on that one. Okay, and then here's kind of one of my favorite. This is kind of a weak class, but this is kind of one of the ones that I use. I use the Peacekeeper with a silencer, reflex, and an extended magazine, and the carbon fiber because I really like the carbon fiber look on the Peacekeeper. And so this is kind of my weird class. As you can see, it's a little bit different than my other classes. You got hardline, scavenger, and dexterity, but as usual, you got C4 and EMP grenades. So this is kind of like a rushing type, kind of medium SMG. It's kind of a weird class, but I do appreciate this class very much. So if you want to try this one out, it helps out as well. The reason why I use the reflex sight on this is because the advantage of using the Peacekeeper, obviously, is that you can shoot further away. So you're going to need to have clear. I actually aim for the head with these ones right here. So that's what I have right there. And here's my Wesley Snipes class. This is my sniper class right here. So it's a ballista with the diamonds and the extended mags and the FMJ. So what we have is right there. Obviously, if you're sniping, you're going to probably be in certain spots of the map, okay? Because you're not, unless you're a really good sniper, you won't be running around too much, which is why I use flak jacket, tac mask, and you can use dexterity. Dexterity for no scopes helps out a little bit, and I kind of like to be able to get to my spot really quick. Toughness does help out because the ballista, the DSR 50 is a little bit stronger than the ballista, but they did nerf both of these. But with toughness, you basically need that to get a second shot off. Because here's the thing, if you miss with the ballista, like if you miss a shot, if you don't have any like any of these perks right here, you can't get a second shot off. It's not going to happen. So if you don't have toughness, can't get a second shot off. If you don't have flak jacket, you're going to blow up. If you get tac masked and you get stunned, there's no chance for you. You have no chance. So all of these perks right here give you a second chance to shoot again. So this is the best setup that I have for the ballista right here. C4, obviously, you can use whatever you want if you want to throw a tomahawk or a combat axe or whatever it's called. And then tac insert, Tag insert, you kind of want to put it in a spot where they're going to spawn, or not where they're going to spawn, but where you can get quickly to the sight line of the spawn, because that's kind of how you get the fees right there. So that's what I have right there. So those are my 10 classes right there. It was a little bit long, but if you guys have any questions, let me know. If this was informative to you and you liked it, please leave a like. It helps the video spread and all that stuff. And if you have any other questions, whoever gave me this idea is a very good idea. Thank you for doing that. But if you guys have any other questions, let me know and I'll answer them. But other than that, I've been Justin. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Bye.